Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, home of the Hotel of Horror. It's based off of this old hotel that's supposedly haunted. I don't really know the lore behind that, but that's what Google's for. I'm just here to tell you what goes on inside, what to expect, and what I think about it. So, Brian Mullaney, Inways Variety Channel. Hope you enjoy the review. Let's begin. So, when you arrive there, there's grass parking. It's a big grass lot. There's a dude who's directing traffic with the light up sticks. So be prepared for that. It's not like street parking. You don't have to pay for parking. Parking is free and relatively easy. There's two separate attractions. It's Hotel of Horror and there's Altered Nightmares. There's also the Theater of the Damned, which is something that it seemed like it was a more like mild, tame thing. It didn't seem like it was much of a haunted maze. I didn't check that one out, so I can't really give you any details on that. But Hotel of Horror and Altered Nightmares together as a combo ticket cost $35. I imagine Hotel probably costs like $25 and Altered Nightmares might cost like 15 or 20 bucks. But it's cash only too, just so you know. I didn't find this out until I waited in line for like 20 minutes, got up to the front to buy my ticket, and then the dude told me cash only. Then I had to go to the ATM. There's a $3 surcharge fee. So bring cash, be prepared, Boy Scout motto after all. So then you get there, you get your wristband, you get your ticket, then you're waiting in line. And be prepared to wait in line, because I waited in line for a good 2 hours. You're sitting there waiting outside in line, and then you go inside, and then you're also waiting in line, and it's a big mess in that regard. They have some actors that are walking around keeping you entertained throughout, going around, you know, doing their thing where they harass the people that are like waiting in line by sitting there and staring at them intently. It's pretty cool in that regard. They have like this little phone that sits there that you can play with or whatever. It rings every now and then. It didn't ring when I was around, so I couldn't tell you what happens when it rings. We also have the TVs that are up on the wall while you're sitting there waiting, playing like, I don't know, little vignettes and stuff like that. Kind of cool stuff to keep you entertained. I guess that's so you don't chew off your arm or whatever while you're sitting there waiting for a good fucking while. 2 hours is how long I waited. So anyway, you get there, you finally walk in, and they like pace it by having this like don't walk sign, and like you're like waiting until someone lets you in. And it didn't really make up for like the pacing of the actual maze, because you still end up walking into people in front of you, people are catching up to you behind you. So it kind of sucked in that regard, that even though it seemed like it was going really, really slow, the pacing didn't really work out the same way that it did at like Halls of Horror in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. That one was really well paced in that I didn't hear or like get the glimpse of any other guests walking through other than my group, which helps you with the horror experience. It keeps you immersed. When I'm walking through some of the exhibits and I see that there's people that just walk through right before I walk in, and then they're screaming in the next room and hearing a bang, I'm immediately taken out of it because I'm distracted by what's going on with them and anticipating their scares, and whatever like psychobabble this person is saying in this room, I'm completely out of touch with because I'm just an easily distracted person. So it would kind of end up that I would be like waiting in one room to go to the next room. So I guess that kind of sucks, because then I'm just standing there and dealing with this actor going like ham, not knowing what else to do because I'm still in the room and they have to stay in character, which, by the way, great job being committed to that, by the way. There weren't any people that were breaking character or being like, you know, lame or ironic or anything like that. So that was cool in that regard. There were a lot, and there were good interactions between the actors. The actors were really great. I think what makes this different than my last experience being Halls of Horror, where they're grabbing you and fucking throwing fake blood all over you and stuff, this one isn't a touchy haunted attraction. No touch. The people won't be putting their hands on you, grabbing you, or anything like that. So if that was like something that kept you from going to haunted attractions, you don't need to worry about that here at the Hotel of Horror, because they don't do that. They leave you alone for the most part. And I don't know, it's weird. Some of the scares are just like from across the room. It's weird in that regard. There were like a decent amount of actors with good one-liners and stuff like that. There was like a bunch of jokes about shooting us up with yeast infection and stuff like that. So that was good in that regard. It just seemed lacking in like the violence, I guess. which I guess a lot of people don't need, because I was seeing a lot of people freaking out and bailing on the line. Whether that was for the wait or because of anxiety, I don't know. So walking through the experience is like around about 20, maybe 25 minutes. At the end, you get the good old, spoiler alert, chainsaw. Obviously, it's not really a spoiler because you fucking hear it from the start when you're walking in, and you see people running out, and a lot of the time you see the chainsaw dude swinging it around like a madman. He was pretty tame this time around. He was more like a creepy dude with the chainsaw than an aggressive redneck with the chainsaw. But there you go. If chainsaw scares you, there's definitely one there. There's also strobe lights as a warning, you know, people who are sensitive to lights and whatever. There's also dark rooms, very like pitch dark, where you're walking and then like the ceiling gets very, very low and you end up walking like, you know, fully bent over, and you're walking through like multiple hallways like that. So just a fair warning, if you have back problems or whatever, be prepared to be dealing with that shit. There's a lot of stairs too. Obviously it's a hotel. There's no elevators in this hotel, it's all stairs. So be prepared to be walking up and down a decent amount of stairs when you walk through. As I mentioned, it's Hotel of Horror and Altered Nightmares. So you walk through the Hotel of Horror and then it's like a halfway point. I guess if you didn't get your combo pass, that's where you kind of dump off and leave. Then if you have the combo pass like I did, you go through and there's Altered Nightmares. Both don't really, I wouldn't say that there was like a clear distinction between the two thematically. It was all just kind of scary stuff, and it was all, you know, it felt like it was just a break halfway in the maze to just have like, I don't know, a couple workers sitting there like asking you how much you like the hotel and if you're coming back. Which, as I mentioned, like I would come back if the wait isn't 2 hours long. Maybe that's on me because I should have just arrived earlier, but 2-hour wait for 25 minutes of pretty good scary stuff. I mean, it's definitely good. Like the effects, makeup, and the actors are really good, but there's just something about it that just seems a little bit lacking. Overall, I would say my rating for this place would be like a 3.75 spooky ghosts out of 5 spooky ghosts. They're just lacking in the violence department, and that's kind of my only distinction between what makes like a haunted attraction like really, really scary or just like scary. Hotel of Horror is definitely scary, don't get me wrong, and you'll have a great time if you go there, but if you were looking to get the full-on horror experience where you are getting grabbed and threatened and screamed at and having shit sprayed on you, I would probably go to Halls of Horror in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. It's not very far away. Anyway, that's my review. Hotel of Horror, Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania. If you want to check it out, $35, cash only, free parking when you arrive. Brian Mullaney from the Inways Variety Channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys have any other haunted attractions that you want me to check out for the Halloween season and review here on the Inways Variety Channel. Like, share, and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Thank you for watching. Later.